As we begin 2020, let's take a look back at 2019. Hey everybody, it's Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel. So, first and foremost, I recently as in 2 days ago, started the MyDisabledExperience podcast. Right now, it's available on Spotify. They're working to get it pretty much everywhere you can listen to podcasts. The link to that podcast will be in the description. And on that podcast, I recently did an episode about my goals for 2020. So on here, I wanted to talk about my 2019 and just kind of reflect a little bit on, this year and what it has meant to me. Well, technically, it's 2020, but let's look back at 2019. The most important thing that happened to me was starting my job. And even though in my last video I announced that it's over, 2019 is huge. Finally having that experience, something that I never thought I'd actually have the chance to do. Like, yes, I went to college and received a bachelor's in sociology, but it's one thing to go to college because they always say, oh, go to college and you'll get a job. Well, it took me 2 years to get a job after college. So it's huge to me that I was able to prove to myself that I could hold a job and, I could be employed and actually feel productive with society. Because now that the first job is out of the way, hopefully that means there's a second um, at some point soon. But, to finally say that I had a job, is huge. It taught me responsibility, taught me to be on a schedule, um, patience, working with others. Not that I haven't already done those, but in an actual work environment, it's totally different. It just, and I felt important, like I mattered in a, employment sense, like I'm bringing something to the table. So, I have to be forever grateful for the opportunities that the clubhouse has given me. And just, that was just the beginning. What's something else? Well, the next big thing that pops into my head is starting a YouTube channel and a podcast now. If you would have asked me even 2 years ago if I would have felt comfortable enough to put my experiences with cerebral palsy on the internet for anyone who is able to use a computer and work YouTube to see me and hear myself talking to anyone and everyone about, what it's like to, grow and have a disability, like to be so public about it. Because I love talking about it personally to anyone that wants to talk to me about it. But to actually have gotten the courage to publicly talk about it to where at some point, millions could see me talking. I mean, I'm not nearly at that level, but and all it takes is one video and millions of people could be watching me. And that's terrifying. But it's also very chasing that for actually people to hear what I have to say. And at this, I never would have thought that I would think my voice was important enough to put on the internet. So I just think it's absolutely crazy that I actually, the last 5 months of 2019, was brave enough. I know that sounds kind of gloaty, but to publicly subject myself to haters and, just being brave enough to brave the YouTube world. I just like, I can't believe I actually did it. I'm so happy that I've done it, and I have to continue to do it in the future. But, I never, for years, I always wondered, like, YouTube, what's, like, I've watched YouTube, but to actually be on it and people can search My Disabled Experience and find me and all my videos is just, it's crazy to me that I've actually made this many videos. Um, Another big thing that I learned in 2019 has definitely been boundaries. Um, those who know me know that I tend to not, I tend to take on everyone's problems and, you know, think of them as my own, where part of 2019 has been learning that it's not always my responsibility to help everyone as much as I want to. I've realized that I can't always, and my mental health and happiness matters um, much more than I allowed it to matter previously. Um, and that's like setting up boundaries that I won't be on the phone after 10 o'clock and just learning to say no. Like I can't do something or I don't want to do something, or just kind of taking back my power a little bit, because a lot of times I'm one of those people that's just kind of a yes, we can do it, and I'm always trying to be very positive, but sometimes, and I love that about myself, but at the same time that can be beneficial for the person I'm helping, but also detrimental to me. So I'm just learning how to, say no and have more boundaries and just kind of have my own little like peace, and just being okay with like I don't want to talk to anyone right now. It's not good. It's not good for them. It's not good for me, even though that person really like I can't take it all on, and it's just something that 2019 has taught me. Um, and just trying to, appreciate friendships and just be more appreciative of, everyone that is in my life. With my sister-in-law's mother, she had a heart attack and spent 3 months in the hospital, and that was incredibly scary. So it just makes like reminds me to appreciate who I do have in my life, because you never know. And being an uncle has been one of the best things. She's 2 now, but this whole year just getting to know her and her personality and be there for her and be Uncle Kai Kai um, has been like amazing. Like I just it's like it's indescribable, which is how I decided that I do want kids. Just being an uncle has shown me that kids are something that I want down the road, and just being the fun, cool uncle for Clover has been amazing. Um, what else happened in 2019? I don't know, really. Just kind of, learning more about myself and, you know, kind of growing as a person. I definitely would say that I have grown, and that's 2020 is definitely a bigger year for growth if you check it out. On my podcast, I want to finally get my license and look for another job and, gain some independence. Um, so I'd really appreciate it if you did check it out. But I think 2019 has definitely put me in a place to do all this personal growing in 2020. Um, I'm. It's just crazy to me though how fast 2019 actually went, and now that I'm like thinking about 2019 and how fast it went, because it all started very quickly with finding my job, like literally within a week of um, working with um, some employment help. Like within a week, it worked, and a few weeks later had my job, and you know, that 9 months that I did work really flew by, and it's just like the older I get, the more I realize how much time actually does fly, which is why I want to push myself to continue to grow in 2020. Um, but I hope 2019 treated you well, and if it didn't, I hope that 2020 is a better year. Um, we all have our ups and downs, and it's pretty scary, but life is a beautiful journey, and here's to 2020. Again, please check out my podcast on Spotify at the moment. It's My Disabled Experience, also all one word. I will include the link in the description, and I will see you next week.